Greetings, Patrick here. 8 Questions with Have Cheetah Will View, and welcome to 8 Questions with. It's our first show of the year. Here it is on January 6th. Well, and we will be talking with fellow YouTuber horror movie lover, Barb from Fear the Talking Heads. She'll be here in about 15 minutes, and we are going to chew the fat about all things horror. She has her own channel, which is a lot of fun. She does a lot of collaborations, including with one of our favorite guys, Eric from Hey Internet. It's Eric. She's also part of another group, a collective. I believe it's called, I want to say Scarefest, but I think that's wrong. She'll correct me. She'll sit there and say, "Hey, wait a minute, that's not the right one. That's not the right one." So, hello to the chat. Jennifer Tuck is here. Hi, Jennifer. And of course, our good friend Eric is here as well. Actually, I met Barb through Eric because we all have the love for independent film and good horror films, and so yeah, that's how I met her. And hopefully, her and I will be doing some collaborations later on during the year. And I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something fun. And there's Tony the Tiger in here. Hey Tony, how are you? Um, let's see. You saw Anaconda. No job yet, but it's all right. You'll get one. You'll get one. Yeah, man, Anaconda. That's a good way to start off the show, right? After wishing everybody a happy holiday season. I hope everybody had a good holiday season, good Christmas, good New Year's. Yeah, we're off and running in January. Um, it sort of still feels like 2025 though, doesn't it? But yeah. Um, you guys can discuss shark and leprechaun movies. Oh God. Uh, no, we're not going to talk about no damn leprechaun movies. I will talk shark movies. I ain't talking no leprechaun movies. Uh, yeah, it's been such a long time since I did this that I sort of like going like, how do I get this going again? Um, last year we ended up talking to James Fury, our first professional athlete. Of course, this year, I have to admit, this year I was dragging my ass as far as getting shows together. We had to reschedule this one actually, which worked out for the best. But man, oh man, it seems like I'm stuck in first gear. I'm not sure if anybody else feels that way, but it feels that way to me. Um, but we are going on the road. By the way, we are going on the road. This is the only show of the week for us here on 8 Questions with. We do got some shows coming up. Um, we got Daryl Hook will be back with us on the 14th. Mr. Meat Hook, he has completed his film, Stoner Snake. All I can say, that movie is a joy. That movie is crazy goofy. Absolutely loved it. A lot of heart into it. Over 100 Easter eggs for all you horror fanatics. I spotted one obvious one. I said, I spotted that one. He says, well, there's 99 more to go. His movie has I think has accidentally created an opportunity here for a new movie for him, which I hope that he does, because he created something really fun to check out. You guys have to go check it out. Well, he'll be on the 14th. On the 17th, we'll be talking with producer and actress Carolyn D will be with us for a special matinee show on the 17th. We start at 6 o'clock that afternoon. And I got more stuff coming up. I just got to confirm it. Our good friend Ken from Sledgehammer Horror is going to come on over and pay his bet. That's right. Me and Ken, we had a football game bet, the Cat Food Bowl. As you go, some of you may know or hear this on the watch party. I usually did this cat food bet with our good friend Hobbs Hoare, but he can't really do it anymore. So we're the kid, and the Steelers and the Lions played, and we did the cat food bet, and he lost. So we have something in plan up the sleeve for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys will come check that out. I should have a date firmed up hopefully by the end of today. Uh, and we will also be talking as soon as I set this date up here. We're talking with Christy Newton, who is a very interesting creator, and we'll be talking with her. I'll be having that date set up soon as well. I cannot wait for that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Russell is here. Says, "What's up, everybody? Let's smash that like button. Yeah, smack that share button out too." It seems like every time I come back from a break, well, we're already doing pretty good tonight. Holy crow! Can I take a screenshot of this? We got 8 heads in here. I'm so happy about that. Oh, and I should actually open up just in case. I always forget to do this. I have to open up my Facebook because that's how a lot of times I communicate with the folks that are doing the show. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's been a pretty good New Year so far. Oh yeah, I am going on the road again. I'm going on the road, heading over to Eric's page. Eric's got himself a great interview series going on. If you guys have not checked it out, you guys are really sleeping on that. Super entertaining guests coming in on his show. His new deep dive series that he's doing with Melissa Hill, who is a terrific human being, and she's an animal rescuer, and she's never seen a lot of these horror films that we take for granted. So Eric and her are they're Eric's helping her discover horror. And so far it's been a great series, and she's a really terrific lady, and you guys need to go over and check that out and support that. Drop a comment down. If you can't make the live, drop a comment. Go watch the replay, drop a comment. It helps us channel out, helps the series out. You'll really enjoy it. Promise you. Let's see. There's a good friend, the Mighty Casey, has come in, master of all things kaiju. He's coming in, laying down some terrific reviews as of late. In fact, he's really been rather prolific lately, and I'm all in for it. It's been a lot of fun watching him talk about all these new kaiju films that are being coming out of Japan. Yes, they're still cranking them out there over there. They're not just, it's interesting, and it's not just Godzilla films. I mean, there's Ultraman still active. Different kaiju I've never seen before have been popping up, doing movies. It's a lot of fun, and of course, Godzilla is experiencing a renaissance over in Japan. So yes, there are new Godzilla movies coming out, and I think Godzilla -2 is coming out this year, and we're all hoping that he fights somebody. That's really what we watch Godzilla films for. I really don't want to watch a character-driven Godzilla movie. I want to see fights. I want to see Gigan. God damn it. Uh, hey Tom, how are you? Yes, Al Ducard has been doing some great movie watch-alongs. We're going to get back into that as well. Probably maybe have a couple of dates by the end of either today or tomorrow. I want to do that too. I really enjoyed having them on. So, and of course, I got a new series that have kicked off called Ritual Tube. That is where me and the Cheetah, we get a TV series. We pull the TV series out. We find the episode that we like, and we do a little deep dive on it. Not too long, about 30 minutes or so, under 30 minutes or so, because it's episodic TV, so it's not the same as a movie. And yes, and we're doing comedies too, so that's interesting. So Uh, that's right. We just want to see Godzilla fight Gigan. That's all we want to see. That's right. Yeah, Godzilla does have the Godzilla movies and also has the Gamera movies. Um, you know what? We're gonna try to do something together. Yes, I definitely want to do that. Want to do that. I also want to do a Clash of the Titans. I did one with JT last month. We did non-horror Christmas movies. That was a lot of fun. I have to admit that was a lot of fun, and we're supposed to get back together and go at it again. The Cat and the Bat. Yes, we are. Well, I plan on having him come on uh, for a review for sure. I'm watching a movie that he inspired me to get, and I definitely want him to come on and share his thoughts with me when we get closer to the date. Um, Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun Friday, that's for sure. 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific time. Can't wait for that. Um, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I think I have probably, but I do have a TikTok, which is a sign of the devil, by the way. Um, I do have a TikTok, and I have been finding some interesting people over there to talk to. In fact, my very first person I met through TikTok is coming on the show, and that's in Carolyn D. And what's really cool about that is I was introduced to Carolyn through a former guest of the show and a friend of the show, and Jamie Hill, who was one of the stars of one of our favorite movies, Skinnamarink. Uh, Skinnamarink. God, I don't know how to say that. Uh, so so that was really fun too. That would be my first peer person from TikTok that I've interviewed. Most of the time, I've always gotten my guests through Facebook or Instagram, but this is first for me in as far as picking up somebody from TikTok. So hopefully that'll open the door for some more guests because there are a lot of people on there, a lot of interesting people. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so I am going to do this right now, and it's going to be a little weird, but I feel like I really need to say something here, so I'm going to say it right now, um, without getting into too much detail because it's not mine to give. But I do want to give a shout out to our good friend Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM, who is very ill, and he needs our support. Um, I know that if he hears this or hears about this, I know that you and I have not been talking very much the last couple of years, but you've always been in my mind. Uh, I have. I'm very sorry to hear this for him. He's very sick, and he's a terrific human being. Yes, I've always thought that even after the last couple of years, I think he's a terrific human being, and I'm very sorry to hear his news. And if it if it helps any, I would I'd be happy to donate. Uh, I'd be happy to donate my organs to save your life. I don't want to see you go. You are an important person here. You have a lot of friends, a lot of support in the community, um, and yeah, it's just not fair. It's not fair at all. Uh, So I just wanted you to know, I know you won't watch this, but I hope that it will get back to you that you're worth being thought of and you were being supported here. And if there's anything I can do, just reach out. Just reach out and let me know. I will do my best, whatever I can do to help out. Um, yeah, man. Prayers for Jason, man. He's in it. And another person who I got to shout out to is my good friend Amy Lang and her husband Michael. Um, Amy is a journalist here in Detroit, and she was one of the ones that helped me through Lori. I met her because of my wife Lori Ann's illness, and she was super supportive, lovely human being. You know, make sure I was, helped us get through it the best she could. And of course, now her husband is now very sick as well. And again, it's like, holy cow. And so, she mentioned about caregivers, about because she's finding it out now. We all, anybody who's never, anybody who's ever gone through an illness like cancer, or or chronic illness like that, um, you find out real fast what being a caregiver is all about. I mean, it's one day you're living your life, the next day your soulmate is getting a sentence, and now you got to take care of them. Um, Hopefully, from what I understand, Michael is doing much better, and we're really praying for him as well. He is a terrific human being as well, and so yeah, I just wanted to throw those two out there because they've been on my heart, and I want you guys to know how important both these people are to me. All three of these people are to me. Yes, and yeah. Hey, Steve, how are you? There's our good friend from Arizona, Steve, and his trusted companion, Lucas Boy, his beloved black lab, who's part cat. That's right. Lucas Boy is part cat. We've already established that. So, how are you today? We're going to be talking with our good friend Barb. She's going to be here momentarily. In fact, she's here right now. So I'm glad you guys are here. Feel free to share us out. Feel free to drop questions. Drop a lot of questions in the chat, and we will answer them as they come up. All right, so please put your hands together as we go get Barb from Fear the Talking Heads.
Hey, Patrick.
Hi, Barb. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, pretty good. I was just giving a couple of shout outs to some friends that helped me out during when my wife was ill, and another member of the community who needs our support. And but we're ready to rock and roll tonight. We got a lot of people in the chat, including Eric is here with his shark movie questions. Russell Dorsey's here. Russell Collier is here. Jennifer here, Stephen and Lucas Boy and Mighty Casey's here. So we got a whole we got a nice chat here, and they're going to be bringing this. They're going to be bringing up a lot of questions, and I'm glad you're here.
I never know how to see the comments out there from the screen. I don't think.
This it should be. That's a good question. What does it say? What does it say on your screen?
It's just you and me, and then it says in full screen mode, new private. Oh, that's private chat messages, but it doesn't really show. I think I'll have to have my phone set up if I want to see what other people. Well, you'll tell me what they're saying, right?
Right. I think I could actually. I want to say see if I could put the chat on the screen. I thought I could do that, but maybe I don't know how to do that at all. I know they're changing things around here at StreamYard. It got sold to another business, and the business took over on January 1st. So I don't know really what they have up their sleeve in terms of what they're going to do to improve it. They asked us for suggestions. That was rich. They're going like, "What do you think we should do?" I'm like, "How about lowering your damn price?"
Oh gosh.
That would be a good start, because a ton of people are using your service. You don't need to jack us, and of course, it used to be you get 20 hours for free, and you could do drops, video clips and sound effects, and you had 20 hours a month free. But they're being heavy-handed as they are. They took that away. They had
Did
the
they
20
really?
hours. Yeah, they had the 20 hours for free, but
Okay.
you can't do drops anymore. You can't do video clips. You can't do sound effects unless you pay.
Can you still do like a photo? Drop a
Uh,
photo?
I think that's it. I think you could drop a photo,
Okay.
and I think that's it. I think it's the only
Okay.
thing you can do. But as far as because like Mr. Bones, he was really well known for his show that he would drop video clips. Like when people came in, he had
Okay.
themes for everybody, and so but he can't do that anymore because because they took that away.
Oh, like
Uh,
wrestling, like when someone comes through the door and you got
right.
a song
Walk,
playing,
walk,
right?
walk down music. That's walkout
Yeah.
music. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Eric's saying that you still can add photos during your 20 hours.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So, and Russell turned 36 on. Oh, he celebrated his sobriety on 31st. He's been sober for 36 years.
Oh,
That's yeah,
congratulations.
yeah. That's popping. I like
That's
that.
a big
I
deal.
like that. And of course, author Jennifer Tuck is in the chat as well. I should mention that. Thank you guys all for being here. So, Barb, you and I, we met through our good friend and shark movie expert, Eric from Hey Internet. It's Eric.
He's gonna love
Have
that you
you
said
ever met
that.
have you ever met anybody that has more expertise with shark movies than him? I haven't.
Well, he's only a pro because of you suggesting so many to him.
Well, you know what? It's really funny. It's like actually, I only really suggested one because he was already doing Shark Week before when I rolled up. I'm like, oh, someone's doing Shark Week here. So I just, then he got, he was sitting there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it next year, and I'm going like, yay, and people want to see you do these. They really do. Here, let me help you out. So I gave him I gave him a movie called Wheezy Shark to check out. Still the best rant ever. So still is even after even after 3 years, 3 or 4 years, still the best. So and so yeah, he was still because I told him, this, it's really funny is I've only interviewed like 7 movies of sharks. That's all
Are
I've
you
done. I think I
serious?
told you
I
that.
guess I
That's
didn't
it.
realize that. Okay.
That's all. I've only done 7 shark reviews, and I've done a shitload of reviews, but I've only done 7 shark movie reviews, and I did a documentary, which just came out this week, and
Okay.
that's it. So I mean, you can go over there to his Shark Week, and it easily wipes out all the movies I've ever reviewed. So I just want people to know that in case they think that I'm the shark expert. I'm. What about you? What about you? Are you what genre of horror would
Well,
identifies you the most? Do you identify
probably
with the most?
I would probably say the slashers, the masked slashers, and I think that's because there's a who done it to it. Like I want to know who's under the mask because it's usually someone we've seen in the movie already.
Right, right.
Well,
Not
unless you're talking
always
about
though.
Michael Myers, then in that case it's always Michael Myers. But I'm
Well,
thinking like
I was going to say Mrs. Voorhees. We didn't really find out who she was
that's right.
either. Yeah, that's
Dun dun
that.
dun.
That's still people. When people talk about the Friday the 13th movies, which is my favorite franchise as well. Uh, it's amazing how many people still don't realize that Jason really was only in in the last 3. I mean, he wasn't the killer in the first one. A lot of people they think of Jason Meyer or Jason Voorhees. They always think of Friday the 13th, and it's like, no, he wasn't there. He might have been across the lake, but he wasn't doing the killing. It was his mama. Um, and but Of course, now we're having the new Friday the 13th coming out later on this year, which they're gonna be. I guess they're gonna be focusing on those years where he was growing up, and it's gonna be very interesting to see how his relationship with his mom is portrayed. Um, that's an interesting series. Friday the 13th. Would you say?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think it's what is your favorite franchise? I mean, you talk about the who done it. Like, this is the bad thing about Scream is everybody likes Scream too, but the thing about Scream is they box themselves so tightly, and the fact that they have everybody you already know going in that whoever Ghostface is has ties to Sydney or her family right away. I mean,
Yeah,
half of it's already exposed before the movie even starts. That takes a lot of fun out of it for me.
and just know that my screen is completely black right now. I can't see you, but you can see me. So
Really?
I guess I'm
Yeah.
going
Okay.
ahead.
Do you want? Do you
I'm
want
just
to just?
glad there's still audio.
Do you want to back out and come back in?
Yeah, let me try that.
Okay. Hey, Jerry. Okay. So we'll let her back out and come back in, and then yeah.
I thought I
Yeah,
did back
yeah.
out, but apparently I'm still on here somewhere.
Oh, that is weird.
It is so
Huh.
weird.
Because I see you.
Okay.
You're on. Yeah, you're on the screen.
I wish I could
Your
see
picture.
you. Let's see.
Um, he says. Eric says that. Yeah. We could both see you on screen, and audio is just fine. That's weird.
That is so odd. But you know, this does not surprise me. Technology. Okay, let's
You know
see
what?
here.
You know what it is. I think it's your phone. Do you have your phone plugged in onto
Plugged
the
in?
charger? Yeah, to the charger.
No, I'm actually on my laptop right now.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's because I
Okay,
know
so
my old phone was one of the first signs I knew it was giving up the ghost was it would get heated up and then it would kick me out of the stream. That was the first thing. It's like okay, it's time to get it upgraded. But yeah, I mean, as far as Scream goes, someone said, let's see, Scream said, Scream movies are awful after the second one. Yeah, because the damn villain the going inside the movie. It's going to be connected to D. Prescott in some way or another. It's never a surprise. Oh look, oh it's me. Oh okay, whatever. You're waiting for Sydney to like the next movie Scream 7 is going to come out and they're going to do the big reveal. Ghostface is going to be related to her. It's going to be her daughter, and I'm just waiting for Sydney to go like yeah whatever. It's like it's nothing new. Um, let's see. Yeah, let me try to do that. Let me see if I can take you out of here and have you come back. Okay. Just come back, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and help you out and then just come right back. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know I don't know what's going on. What can I say? It's never any questions unless we have some sort of tech problems. I'm disappointed whenever we have a clean show without any mess ups because then I think something went wrong because because we had a perfect show. But we'll have Barb come in. Yeah, let me just try to let her tell her to come back in. Okay. Yeah, remember you guys remember that I had for a while there. Uh, I had my phone was kicking me out. Uh, okay. Yeah, my phone was kicking me out. It was the battery was getting heated, and then it would kick me out. And so I would be sitting there talking. Next thing you know, I'm outside looking in. I hadn't had that problem since I got a new phone, so I know it was the phone's problem and not StreamYard. So she's gonna refire her laptop and come back in a few minutes. But isn't that the real case though about about horror movies? I do like a good horror movie with a mystery. I mean, that's really whenever they talk about giallo movies, the Italian movies, um, yes, they're slasher movies, but they're also detective movies. I've always looked at giallo movies as detective films, a little bit more violent than normal, but that's what they are first. They're first and foremost mystery movies, not and it has slasher elements to it. Um, Casey says Scream 6 was good. And yeah, I don't have high hopes for 7 either, and that's only because they announced an eighth movie, which I thought that was like the most stupidest thing they could have done. It's like, wow, so we already know going in that Scream 7 that there's no resolution. So you're asking me to spend a lot of money to go out for a movie that is not resolved. That might work with a Lord of the Rings, I'm not so sure how it'll work for a horror movie. Um, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I will say one thing about the Scream movies. They do attract some decent star power to them. I mean, they do that. Um,
All
okay, and she's
right.
back.
Take two.
That's right. Um, so how did you get your first start in horror? I mean, because it's still funny to because it's such a man's world per se. When you think of horror movies, you always associate it with men. Like guys watching horror movies. It's so different, as a woman to sit there and say, I really love slasher movies and whatnot. What kind of reaction do you get when you tell people that your favorite genre is horror movies? So what do your friends think about that? Are they
Well,
are they are they like you, or are they a little surprised?
yeah, thank you, Russell. He said, "Welcome back." I, I
Oh,
I think some people are a little surprised because my with my day job being that I'm in healthcare or whatnot, and by healthcare I mean more of like manual therapy type of job, and I think people don't expect that someone that's in that nurturing kind of environment that I would then go home and turn on a slasher movie. But I don't know, there's something about slasher movies that or horror movies in general. I think it's because it's a controlled scare. It's not as scary as what's going out in the real world, if that makes sense. So it's a
yeah,
controlled scare. And
right.
I mean, I've been watching horror movies since I was 6 or 7. The first time that I had seen something, I think from my memory, there might have been something I saw before that, but from my memory, it was Friday the 13th, part one and part two back to back on HBO.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and my cousin and I were the same age, just by apart by 3 months. And she can't do horror at all. But I somehow was so drawn to it, even at a young age, even though it scared me. I was still drawn to it because I remember there was this big picture window in the front room of grandma's house, and it's grandma, it's my mom, my dad, and my grandma who kind of raised me on scary movies. So, Gen X, people didn't care. They just didn't care what you watched back then. Like, oh, let them watch,
No.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you think about that as an adult, like, how are we allowed to watch that as kids? I mean, it's not,
Hell, I mean, honestly, it's getting to the point where how are they watching them today? Some
yeah.
of these movies, they're being censored or pulled, or it's sort of shocking, to see movies like that, who are 40 years old, 50 years old, sort of come under a social attack. The one phrase that really bothers me is when you hear someone today say, well, you couldn't do that today. Why the hell not? What it's like, watching someone getting impaled, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, you couldn't do that one today. Wow, that I mean, when someone says that to me, it's like that's a horror movie all in itself,
Well,
right?
I think the Terrifier movies have kind of proven, and just to answer Russell's question, it's Scream. Yeah, Scream is my favorite. Eric knows, and Eric just loves me for who I am.
Oh God, the first Scream wasn't bad. I mean, it was. I mean, it got off. It was supposed to be a horror comedy, which obviously it turned out not to be. um, because what I really disliked about the Scream is I really don't like the first kill. I mean, I really don't like that. That made me
Oh,
physically angry watching that.
oh, really?
Uh, yeah,
I'm maybe
that
I'm
was
desensitized when it comes to the slasher stuff. I'm not desensitized when it comes to violence by like bludgeoning or someone getting the crap beat out of them or something like that. And I have a really hard time with that. Like the end of Casino, if anyone has seen Casino, what
Joe
happened
Pesci's.
to, yeah,
Yeah, Joe
I
Pesci's
can't.
character.
Yes, it almost like hurt my heart to watch it. Even though he wasn't that great of a character, not that good of a person, it hurts my heart
Right.
to watch that. And for me to say that as someone who likes horror movies, there's a difference between like the boogeyman and something that's happening in real life or violence from one person to another. You know what I
Well, I think
mean?
that's what made that scene so effective. It was the fact that it did come across as real life. I mean, most of the because most of the time in horror, you're allowed to show the kill. You can show the kill, as far as keeping your ratings. Rated if you want to rate it PG or rated R. Some horror movies, especially movies like independent filmmakers like Todd Sheets, they up the violence beyond the rating system. That's why their movies are unrated because they want to go to they want to draw it out. Horror movies used to do that, and then they came with rules saying that you couldn't show that kind of torture scene. You had to tone it down to fit within the rating system. Um, and I always thought, wow, they really missed the ball on Scream. But I think the reason why they did was because in all the press that was going before it, it was being labeled as a horror comedy, spoofing off the slasher movies. But
Yeah, I don't
honest to
see it as
God,
horror comedy.
no, not at
No.
all. But that's what it was being marketed as. You go ahead, but that first kill, I mean, compared to the rest of the movie, I mean, people died, but they were dying relatively quick.
Yeah.
But that was drawn out and extremely mean spirited. I know Drew Barrymore said that she'd love to do the movie as long as she's the first one killed, but good Lord, I would. I know she has kids. I don't think she'll probably allow her kids to see that movie till they're like 21 because that was such a drawn out scene and it made you really uncomfortable and it made the people who were watching it I saw it at the theater when it came out. People, I remember this distinctly, that the people in the theater were really uncomfortable with that scene.
Well,
One, because it
okay.
was Drew Barrymore. It was, and everybody remembers her from E.T. and all these other movies, so it
Yeah.
was her. And then two, it was so drawn out and so ultra violent,
I've
and,
seen
and
the movie so many times now at this point, though, that I think I have desensitized myself to that kill. But I will say this, the first time that I saw it, my husband had brought me to the drive-in theater, the outdoor theater, and you'd go into a lot of those movies blind
hmm
because in the 90s, it's not like you really went to YouTube or something to watch a trailer. I mean, I don't even remember. So you're figuring if I saw it at the outdoor theater, that means I think it had come out in the winter. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it came out in December of 96.
96. Like, 90, was it in
So
the screen came out in 96, right?
yeah, so it was in the summer of 97 that I saw it, and I hadn't heard anything about it because it's not like, again, it's not like there was a ton of stuff on the internet where you didn't really do a lot on the internet back then. Not really. I
Yeah,
mean, it was relatively new. So
really new.
we were in his Jeep, and as soon as that scene ended, I reached over and I locked the Jeep door, which is hilarious because it he had the top off. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's not like if someone's gonna get me, they're gonna get me. It's not. But yeah, it
Oh my
was kind of
gosh.
like I thought this was a comedy.
Yeah, yeah. You go on if you take away that scene from if you lift that scene from Scream and just pick it up from that afterwards. Yeah, there's a lot of humor in the movie. Without that scene, there's still humor.
With
Um,
Randy. Yeah,
you, uh,
a
you
lot
know,
with
you know,
Randy.
there's just, watching those two guys interact, Matt Lillard and Skeet Ulrich. I mean, they're interacting. The very end where she kills Skeet and says, you won't be in the sequel. I mean, there's a lot of meta minutes in there that are hilarious and funny. It's like because you always see that drives me bonkers too. When because they cover that in Scream. That always bothers me too. It's like you'll see a slasher go out there and just lay waste to everybody, right? Hack them up, and then you get the final girl or and her boyfriend, and they hit the killer like one time, and then they run, It's like, why are you just hitting the son of a bitch just once? I would go to town on that. I mean, they have to identify him through DNA, not even dental records because he wouldn't have any teeth left. But you always see that in a horror film where they just hit the bad guy one time. But I like that in Scream where she said, they thought they killed him, and then she says she puts another one in the round because they always come back.
Yeah.
Anyways, he won't be in the sequel. um,
Eric. Yeah, that's the way my brain works, though. I've locked the door. Nothing can get in.
Let's see. Let me catch up with here. The chat are saying hi.
Hi,
Hey,
Doc.
Doc Kaiju here. All right, all right. Got a good chat here tonight. The mask screen is Bullocks. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, the Scream mask does not do shit for me. Does not move on the radar as far as scares go. Yeah. Let's see. See. See, Doc says, especially since I would use a giant monster. Yeah. Well, gosh, that's interesting. You mentioned that, Doc. So, and I know you and Casey can identify with this. So, speaking of that, there was a great movie called Colossal with Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis, and both of them. Have you seen it?
I have not seen that one.
Oh, so good.
It sounds so familiar to me, though. Colossal. I'm writing this down because I feel like that was one that I had written down in the past and forgot to watch. But I don't remember what genre that is. Is that in the horror genre?
Kaiju genre with some
Oh,
horror elements to it.
okay.
But it's a dark comedy as well. But it's two people who are connected to. I have to rewatch it. It's been a while since I rewatched it, but their spirits are connected to kaiju, and so
Oh, it's like a Godzilla movie almost. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And so Anne Hathaway's character is one monster, and then we find out that Jason Sudeikis' character is another.
Okay.
Man, I tell people to watch that movie because Jason Sudeikis rules. He's one of my favorites. That guy can do anything. And there's a scene in there where he's all happy-go-lucky, all Jason Sudeikis, and then within like that, he snaps and he's deadly serious, and it's really impressive. And you go like, "Holy shit!"
I need to
Because
watch that one because I
yeah,
remember seeing the trailer and thinking, okay, I have to see this one because maybe I had seen the trailer at one point before the movie even came out. And then you always think, oh, yeah, I'll remember when it comes out. And then it's just one more movie that slides just slips through the cracks. There's so many of them.
well, how do you channel your for me? I know for a lot of people here as well. I use oh gosh, why do I always have like a brain toot here? I think my mind is too busy. Let's see. It's God, Letterbox. Okay. So Letterbox, I use that to keep track of my physical media, what I have in my collection or not. Um, and I know that this week you got a lot of horror movies from a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Do people, your friends now know you? Do they know you now as a horror fan when it comes down to movies? Like they know that's what you'll watch first.
Yeah, I'm a massage therapist. And so one of my massage clients, the husband and wife that come in to see me, they brought me that stack of movies. And because they know that I like scary movies, and I'm always really careful with the new clients that I don't bring that up right away, just so I don't scare anyone away, so that they know like I'm a good person. I'm not a weirdo. I mean, I am a weirdo, but not a bad weirdo.
Not a bad weirdo. Not a
Yeah.
bad weirdo at all. Good weirdo.
Yeah, so they know, which is kind of cool because, and another client had brought me these. It was last year, I remember it was a box and it had 5 different pairs of horror socks. So it was like Ghostface and Chucky and Freddy and all of the all different
Okay.
socks with horror icons on them. And I don't know, there's just like a handful of clients that really know me that have been with me for 7, 8 years. And So they'll come in sometimes, the ones that also watch horror, and they'll recommend something to me. Like, oh, did you see this movie? You've probably already seen this, Barb, but just in case, here's a recommendation for you. So that's kind of cool.
So how many shark recommendations has Eric given you?
Not many, but Grandma and I,
But he has given you some.
yeah.
I knew it. I knew he's given you some. I knew it.
Um, yeah, I love the shark movies. The
Me
most
too.
recent one, Dangerous Animals, I still need to review that one at some point on my
Yeah,
channel. It was really good.
I'm crossing my fingers and waiting for that to hopefully drop down to the library. That's an IFC Midnight and Shutter collaboration, so I'm gonna be all over that when it comes out.
Nice.
Steve says that weirdos can be nice people. Some of the nicest people are horror fans. They really are. They're the nicest people. I mean, they watch horror films, but they're some of the nicest people we all know. It's true. I mean, you look at our little community here on YouTube. I mean, they're very nice people here, and and even though I am with you about one thing, it is like I can't do a horror all the time. I just can't
Right.
do it.
I
I
need a
I
break
can't.
sometimes. And when
Oh
I
yeah.
need sometimes I'll take a break from it and I'll watch something on YouTube or, catch up on a podcast here and there or something. But I feel like as far as movies that I go to the theater to see, those are 99% of the time it's going to be horror because I want something that's exciting on the screen. I just recently went to go see Anaconda, the goofy one with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, and it has elements of horror in it, but it's marketed as, I think, a comedy, and it's very rare for me to go to the theater to just see something funny. But I went with my sister,
Well,
so
that I don't know. I'll ask you how it was, but I saw the previews of it, and I was like, absolutely not. Just absolutely. I'm not
it's
gonna. I think the first one was great,
yeah.
and I wish they had remade that. If they're gonna or sequeled that. But I mean, I know what they did with the second one, and it's just like, okay, you're gonna go for the laughs, and it's like, but I don't know.
I
I
didn't
just
watch
didn't.
the second one yet. Grandma has it though, and I want to Anacondas, that one. I haven't seen it. It's for laughs.
No, the Anaconda series. It's funny is that Universal and Sony, they did this back when we had when back when we back in the old days when we had video stores. What they used to do is they take an IP like Anaconda, and what they did and like Placid, and they make franchises out of them. So if you type in Anaconda, you'll find out that there's actually been 7 or 8 Anaconda movies.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
They would turn around and they would franchise these properties off. Like Placid has a franchise, um, straight to video. So it was like they never hit the theater. They went straight from some of them were made specifically for the Sci-Fi Channel. I think Anaconda's Blood Orchard, Blood Orchid was made strictly for the Sci-Fi Channel.
So kind of like the
Um,
Amityville, how they just took off with that, and it's a lot of B movies in the Amityville franchise.
Yeah, that's a good segue for this too. Since we both like horror movies, but what are some of the movies that you like? There's a line in the sand like that you won't cross, or will you watch anything and everything?
No, no.
No.
Well, like I mentioned earlier about horror movies, there's certain ones. Okay, like paranormal ones are hard for me to watch because I have to go to sleep at some point. And now I'm thinking about what's in the closet, what's in the dark with me. No, thank you. So I usually stay away from things like Insidious and Conjuring. I don't watch those. I mean, if I had a friend that was urging me to do it and we did it together or something and it was like a girls' night, I would probably do it, but no, to watch that and to have to go to bed. Mm-mm. But then the other ones are the really violent ones. I did watch Terrifier 1 and 2, but does it really count if I'm doing this halfway through the movie and, like and muting the TV.
allow me to help you with Terrifier, and because I'm gonna every what am I gonna say about Terrifier? Everybody will know this. Everybody in the chat that's heard me talk. What do I like about Terrifier? Watch this. Okay, some of the people are gonna come in. They know why I like Terrifier.
They are just mean, Eric. Yes, they are. They're mean.
Oh, but not really. Not at least not the first one. So what makes Art the Clown such a great character? You're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be surprised. And in fact, when I watched this movie, when I watched it, I'm gonna give. I think Casey knows the answer to this. Casey might know. Okay, maybe they don't. Okay. Yes, I reviewed that, Russell. Lake Placid versus Anaconda. I reviewed that. Let's see. Let's see. All these Art the Clown's ripoffs. Wonder if there will be a shark version soon. Well, Graveyard Shark might work. So here's what I loved about Terrifier. So I'm watching Terrifier, and there's a scene in the first one, the scene down when they're down in the sewers, and there's that crazy old lady there, and she had all the cats.
Oh, that's what you liked about it.
Yes, I asked David Howard Thornton. I asked him on Instagram. I said, because I noticed that, I'm going like, is Art the Clown a cat lover? And he answers me back, says that's a great question, and yes, he loves cats. Bam, honest to God, the whole movie changed for me. It's like, that's awesome. Art the Clown, he's chopping someone in half, and we're like, oh, who cares? He's a cat lover. Yeah. And then he comes back in a couple minutes. He goes like, Art also loves dogs too. So he's a pet lover. So it's like, wow, you just totally defanged Art the Clown by saying how much he loves cats and dogs. And then you start thinking about this shit, right? Like I'm thinking about this, and like when we did our retrospective on Friday the 13th, there's Jason in the second movie, kills Alice, takes her head off, leaves the cat there.
Leaves the cat.
Leaves the cat. Thanksgiving. Here's Carver John Carver. And here he is. And what does he do? He cooks a human being, but he's taking care of the cat. He's saying, "Hi, kitty." He pets the cat. I think that's Michael Myers too. I think Michael Myers had a scene where there was a cat in the movie, and he just left it alone.
I think we need to make a list of all the times that the animals were spared in horror movies. We should make a list and add to it.
Yeah, I think we should. I remember watching Eight-Legged Freaks, and I'm like, oh hell no, because they show this off screen, they show the cat, and I'm like, no, this movie's not for me.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like when that happens. Yeah, okay, so you were asking like the things that I stay away from. I get really upset if animals are messed with in these horror movies. Sometimes Grandma and I will be watching something, and I'll pause it and I'll go to doesthedogdie.com because I'm like, why is there a dog in this horror movie? Is it going to be sacrificed for something? Because usually if you see a cat or a dog, they're just there so that something can get to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's funny too, is like, I remember, let's see. See, Steve knows this is a cat lover ranks high with Patrick. That's why I have to support Art the Clown. Art the Clown is not a bad guy. He's just misunderstood.
Is he misunderstood?
He's misunderstood. But he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Maybe if one of his victims managed to give him a kitty, maybe that would, save their, most of the time they're always running and tripping over invisible shit. To me, it's like, oh, there's a mass killer going on here. Let me just go get a cat over here. And, because most of the time, you're throwing off the cross, the fight off the demon or whatnot. It's like, why don't we just get a cat and throw it to him? I mean, once they start, or throw a dog, throw a dog.
Might calm his nerves.
Let's see. Everybody's laughing at our animals. Let's see. In Thanksgiving, in Thanksgiving, the killer gives the cat food. See, how could that guy be such a bad guy? I mean, he's feeding the cat. I mean, come on. Let's see. Casey says I was worried something was going to happen to the cat and bring her back. Yeah, I remember seeing the first time I ever saw cats like that. Like cats in a movie, like crazy movie, was Sleepwalkers. The cats were they
Right.
were they were the defenders. They were after those creatures, and they attacked it, and that was a badass scene too. Let's see. I think that movie gave my ex nightmares. We shut it off without finishing it. What, Terrifier? Oh gosh, no, Doc. He let's see. Says I got upset with some of the VHS segments for that reason. I tend to look up if animal character survives the film. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Cats are lovable, but they're assholes. Of course,
Wait,
Art
what,
loves them.
Doc, what movie are you talking about with Tom Holland after that awful film with Tom Holland?
I think that was like Cargo or something like that, or
What? What,
I
did
think there was
something
a
bad
bunch of.
happen? I need to know what movies to like stay away from.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Movie
I
with
thought
Tom
I
Holland.
didn't. Wasn't it like a Chaos Walks or something like that? Maybe it was Chaos Walks or something. Well,
We
I think
should
it was
look
off
up
of
movies where the cat or the dog is like the hero. Uh like Cujo would be the opposite of that, obviously, right? But then there's also
actually, I was just going to talk about Cujo
yeah,
because because that is a fucking sad movie.
it is a sad movie, especially when you know how it actually ended in the book, right? The book was
Uh,
a more
the dog was a victim in that whole damn thing. It
wait,
really was. The dog
behind the
was the
scenes,
victim.
something bad happened behind the scenes?
Yeah. Well, if you think of the movie, the dog got rabies. Remember?
Right, but that's not, didn't they have that dog
The,
trained to do that? Or
well,
am
no,
I
no, not. I mean, no. The storyline,
right?
Cujo got
Oh,
rabies.
okay. I thought we were talking
So,
real
but
life for a
if you think,
second there.
no, no, because the dog got rabies because he wasn't vaccinated. His owners left him to die a horrible death.
Right.
It's not Dee Wallace and her boy. It's the dog.
Yeah, it is sad
If you look,
because
yes.
I hadn't seen it's one of those movies that I hadn't seen since I was maybe 12, 13, and then
Mhm.
rewatched it last year with Granny. And I didn't realize how stretched out that timing was because they keep checking in on the dog almost in the film to show this is progressing now.
Yeah.
At first he seems a little off, but then now he's really bad. So
I mean,
yeah,
I
they
mean,
really show it.
yeah. I mean, when you see Dee Wallace, finally kill him, there's no like, oh yeah, like like when Ghostface gets it, yeah. There's oh thank God, there's relief because the dog's out of his misery,
Yeah.
and it's a very interesting look. Because I too, I saw it when it came out, and like everybody, I was like, oh my God, scary, scary. And then when you get older as an adult, you look at that movie again, you realize that the villain really isn't the dog at all. He's a victim, total victim. He didn't ask to be there,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's dying a horrible, horrible death. And they just happen to be there. They're like almost collateral damage. But man, the dog is it's yeah, that's a sad ass movie.
It
Um,
is. It is.
um,
Did you see Patrick, did you see Good Boy yet? It's
I
a
have not.
Shudder.
That's another. And no, I heard that's a really good movie as
It's
well.
really good and it's shot in the perspective of the dog. So like as someone's walking in, you're seeing like from their thighs down because it's from, it's what the dog is seeing and they don't focus on the people's faces as much because they want you to see the whole this room or the outside from the dog's perspective. It's really good.
Yeah, I heard that. And
Mhm.
that also not to brag or anything, but it also is an ISC film, by the way. So just let you guys know that. Um, Uh, Now I also know too that we're talking about and characters that mean a lot to us. We're looking at the animals, taking a look at the animals. But who are some of your favorite characters as far as like what kind of movies? Like I know you have your channel Fear of the Talking Heads. So I know that you're a big fan of Fear of the Walking or The Walking Dead. Um, tell us about how you got involved with that. I mean, were you always a fan of that show? Um, is it a show that you look at as is it more is it dystopian or is it horror? I have never I've only seen the first
Oh,
episode of that.
it was the zombie element that attracted me to it to begin with. Because my husband and I thought, oh, this show looks really cool, so we started watching it, and I can't remember when Negan entered the picture, but I checked out like shortly after he entered the picture because then it became very clear from what people were saying online that he was really going to be brutal. And according to the comic books, if they stayed true to the comic books, he was going to kill Glenn. And I said, I don't know that I can watch that. And it started as more of a zombie show, and then it started to evolve into human on human violence, which I've already said earlier on this show that I have a hard time with that. So people on the internet, this is how much of an idiot I can be sometimes, because people on the internet were saying how they wanted to throw up after seeing, Glenn get killed. I'm like, how bad can it really be? And so I went to YouTube and I watched it, and I'm sitting there crying because I was so upset. So see, I can't watch stuff like that. I mean,
Well,
I just can't do it. It hurts
I
me.
thought it was really weird because Jeffrey D. Morgan has a TikTok page, and he does a lot of live streaming, a lot, and he dresses up like Negan a lot of the time, including with Lucille. Oh my God, you cannot believe the chat. It's crazy. They still talk about that scene to him. You killed Glenn. And it's
Oh
just,
yeah, it's
I'm like, he's done other things in his life other than that, other than that. The only thing that bothered me about that, and I felt bad for fans, is the fact they turned around and they made him an anti-hero. And to me, it's just like, he could come up with the cure for the zombies. He could come up with a medical cure, but he still son of a bitch deserves to die because he killed two innocent people. How
oh
do you,
yeah.
it's like, to me, it's like, how do you make a character like that an anti-hero when he still got murder in his closet? He can't escape that. You can't outrun that. I've always been curious about that because they kept him on and they changed his character. They built a series around him, and I'm going like, but he killed innocent people. How is this possible?
Yeah,
You
my
know?
husband kept watching long after I had stopped. He kept watching because he likes to follow through with a series. I'll stop a series if I want to. I don't have any, I mean, I'm a grown up. I can do what I want. But my husband, he just wants to see it through to the end. And so he watched it all the way to the very end of the seasons. And then now with the spin-offs, I said, "Are you going to watch the spin-offs?" And he said, "I don't think so." Which is
Mm.
surprising to me because he actually really liked Negan's character. I mean, even though
Yeah,
he made a good villain, obviously, but I just have a hard time with those kind of scenes. The zombie stuff, it's in my brain can go, oh, that's make believe, you know.
right.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that part of the series it definitely is interesting to me. It's like you would think with humanity, look, I mean, to be perfectly honest, if you watch The Walking Dead or not, there's one thing right away that you're going to know, and that is it doesn't show you when or exactly how, but there's one absolute: everybody's going to die. It's just too many. I mean, it's just too, so you think about that, and you're like, there's just no way anybody can survive that. I mean, how could you even sleep? No wonder you go crazy. But it is interesting to see that you're already decimated. You're like the last 1% of human beings on the planet. And it fascinates me when I was reading the different seasons and who they're going. Well, one group are going against another, and I'm going like, why the fuck are you guys fighting for? You're already like on the endangered list, and yet every time you fight and take somebody else out, you have just made your own survival all that more unlikely, because you have just what's that saying, when you if there's a creature running, you know, the one thing you have to worry about is you can outrun the guy in front of you,
Yeah.
or beside you.
And like Russell
Uh,
just said too, oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a good actor. Yeah. And
yes.
while a lot of people see him as Negan, I will always see him as Danny Duquette. And I do you know, did you watch Grey's Anatomy, Patrick?
I only watched 2 episodes of that.
Okay, it's a really, really good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first
Me and my
11
wife,
seasons were the best of them. Yeah.
they have still on the air too. I watched the second season. They ran a 2-part series where a guy got shot with an explosive, and
Right.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle Chandler was the SWAT guy,
Yeah, I
and
remember that
yeah,
episode.
that's the only episode I ever watched. And boy, I thought I was going to be watching. I thought we were going to be watching it again. We never did. We never went back to it. I
You
got
know
a few
how
seasons.
Oh, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say that how I got into even watching it to begin with, it was whatever season there was a shooter in the hospital, whatever season that was, I want to say 5 or 6. I had a TiVo. Did you ever have a TiVo before?
No.
Okay, a TiVo was a really cool device. It was yay big, really thick box, and you would connect your TV to it and your cable box, and it would be really smart. Think algorithms, but in this box, because it would see what your viewing history was, and it would say, okay, well, we're going to record things in the background that we think that you're going to like. And so you could record, obviously intentionally record things that you wanted, but then in the background over here, suggestions it would record for you as well, so that you just had always at your disposal, you had all of these movies and TV shows. Well, it recorded that episode, that 2-hour finale, and it was so intriguing to me that I ended up going back then and watching all the way from 1 to 6 all over again, so that when season 7, or what, I hope I'm saying this right, but when season 7 would start, I'd be ready. But yeah, it was
Right.
really, really cool. And TiVos, I don't know that people really have them so much anymore because they're not tethered to cable like they are
Oh
the
gosh, yeah.
streaming apps and stuff. So
Well, that's a good question to ask you. What is your opinion about streaming? I mean, being an independent horror fan as we are, is streaming good for independent horror, you feel, or you think it's a detriment?
that's a really good question. I mean, yes, because so many people do tend to stream now. I've thought for a while there that physical media was dead, so we started to sell some of our collection off. But oh, John's here. Doomsday
Yeah, I
Crypt.
see
Hi,
that.
hi, Jen.
Hey,
Uh,
John.
but yes. As far as physical media goes, I'm just now starting to collect it again because I realize it's still relevant. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be apparently, but that's why I say streaming is important, but also getting that physical media too. I mean, I see some things like Stranger Things. I don't even think that they have all of them out, do they?
They have 1 through 4 out. They
They
don't have the
do.
fifth
Okay.
one out yet.
Okay. So it is still being
Yeah,
produced.
I had the first 2 seasons, but I never saw the third and the fourth one. And then I saw on this website that they did put out the third and the fourth one. I haven't seen it. Um, I only go shopping at one place, really. I only shop my library. That's all I can afford. And
Okay,
so
so do you not have the streaming apps? You just go for the physical media
no,
then? Okay.
yeah. The only streaming app, I don't have an app. But the only one I watch is Tubi.
Tubi, okay.
And once in a while, Exumo, it's called. It's from NBC. It's their free streaming service, and sometimes I'll go over there and watch a movie or two over there. But no, mostly it's just Tubi. But the thing with Tubi is like when it started out trying to trying to find its way, it would air so many independent horror films. Now when you go over there, all I see is this recycled studio stuff. You have to be really looking for something specific now like to define independent horror. Before it would just be there. Now you have to type in, like type in, Lloyd Kaufman, type in his name, and then you get a bunch of different titles. But if you're just the casual fan who maybe doesn't know all that, you just go up there and on the front page is just loaded with commercial shit. And someone
Russell.
mentioned, Russell mentioned, says, where is, someone mentioned The Unholy. Man,
Oh, I
so
saw
I
The
was shocked.
Unholy. Yeah,
Yes,
that was good.
yeah, that was, you know what? I was so happy for that because I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan a great deal, but good Lord, he has a hard time translating from TV to movies. His TV work is great. His movie work, yikes,
Oh,
painful.
was it painful? You thought it was? Okay.
No, I thought that holy. No, I watched several of his movies that he's come out on,
Yeah.
like the postcard killer. Oh
Okay.
Lord,
Oh, I haven't seen that.
that was horrible. I was just like, wow. But then you watch him out. Then you watch him in like the best movie I've ever seen him in. As far was this part as the comedian in Watchmen. He was great in that. It
Oh,
wasn't,
he
it
was
wasn't in
great.
very long, but he was great in that.
I,
And
The
so
Watchmen in general is such an amazing movie. It never felt like it was 3 hours long, did it?
no, it's my favorite superhero movie of all time.
I can see why.
Yeah,
It's a
it's my
really,
favorite
it's a
one.
great film. And
Rorschach I mean, Jackie Earl Haley just people sleep on him. I don't understand that at all.
they do.
He's
Eric and I were
an
talking about him.
oh,
He's so
really?
good.
He's
Yes.
so good. So good. I tell people about one movie that a lot of people would be able to be a little uncomfortable watching, but you go back and watch it, and it's actually a lovely movie. It's a very interesting movie. It's called Little Children,
Eric
and
suggested that to me. It's on my watch list. Yeah.
bring tissues.
John, yes. Are you going to be there? He just asked if I'm going to be at Spawn of Scarefest.
Spawn a Scarefest.
Yes, I have to lose my Christmas weight so I can wear a swimsuit.
Wow.
It's going to be in June at
uh,
the Marriott Griffin Gate.
what
Jackie.
is yeah, you're part of another collective, right? Because you're on YouTube underneath your own channel, and then you
Yes.
part of it. Tell us a little bit about your collective.
Yeah, so over at Scarefest weekend, you got something cool planned? Oh, now I'm intrigued. That's awesome. Yeah, so Scarefest weekend is a horror con that's out in Lexington, Kentucky. And somehow Wes has taken me under his good graces since the end of 2023 and made me one of his co-hosts. And it's just been a blast because I get to talk to people like Beatrice Bupley and many others. Felissa Rose, I got to interview on there too, and Amanda Weiss.
Oh, you
Weiss?
got to talk to
I
Amanda
always mess
Weiss.
that up.
Yeah,
Yes.
Amanda Weiss. Yeah, she's
And
great.
yeah.
I'd love to interview her.
Yeah, and I never know who I'm going to get, but at the end of this month, I'll have Lachlan Monroe that I can interview, talk to him. I'm going to probably bring up Totally Killer, that movie. I don't know if have you seen that?
He's got a new movie coming out this year called Rough Draft,
Okay.
which was written and directed by Michael Cassie, and he has a pivotal scene in the movie. But man, that's already on my top 10 list for 2026. That is a really, really interesting movie. Very different, very different. With
What genre is it?
it's horror.
It's horror? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely horror, psychological horror, and it actually stars one of Eric's favorite actors, Jeff Fahey. Jeff Fahey is the lead in that. I know that Eric, a big fan of his. I am too, but he's the lead of the movie with Mina Saveri.
Mina
Who
Suvari?
did yes,
Okay.
who did American Beauty and American Pie.
That was a good
Uh,
movie too. Speaking of good films. Sad though.
American Yes, definitely sad. Let's see. And you mentioned Beach. Let's see. Eric's saying here. Jackie is great in the Elm Street reboot because of little children. He's so scary. He is. But if you want to see him a little less scary, but still a lot of fun and actually playing a good guy, there was a short run series that came out on Fox a few years ago called The Human Target. And he played Guerrero in that, and he was a lot of fun. I missed that show. That show was a lot. I watched every episode of that series. I got the first season. It's really good. Let's see. You pronounce the name. Okay. Yep. Lachlan, great guy. Yep. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get an interview with him. Lachlan Monroe. I think he's great.
He seems like a good person, you know. And since he's coming to spawn of Scarefest, and so every time they have either someone that's coming or someone that was just there, they try to get them on the show on Wes's podcast, Scarefest TV, and you know, get some stories out of them, some behind the scenes stuff, and just, you know, like what the trajectory of their career has been and what they enjoy doing now, all kinds of things. It's been a blast on there. I really enjoy, but I get nervous every time I have to go live. That has not changed since day one. Just like I got nervous coming on here. It's just a live thing. That's why Eric Crubby, hello. Crubby the Beagle.
Oh, hey, Crubby.
Yeah, I don't know. I get nervous because there's no safety net. It's not like you can go, if you say something stupid, you can't go back and edit it out. There's just no safety net.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? It's a lot of fun. You know, without a net, it is, I admit, I don't like. I know a lot of people who do these type of shows, the interview shows, and they go back and they edit them out. You know, like because you know, like they or oh or ah or whatever. You know, I gotta go edit that out. To me, man, I don't want to listen to a sterile podcast. I like it when people, you know, they bobble or they mispronounce a word or whatever. It makes it human. It makes it more interesting to me.
That's a good
why
point.
I don't edit anything that I do. It's like because you know when I first started
Eric.
questions with let's see, no safety net, so she invites me. When I first started doing when I first started doing 8 questions, I did it as a written interview. So what I would do is I would ask someone, would you like to do 8 questions? And I say, here's my promise for you. Whatever you write me back, whatever you say, it stays in the interview. The only thing I will change is just the grammatical errors. But what you say, I'm not going to touch because there's too many times where people will sit there and they'll edit it out for you know, and I do not like that. I want to see everything. If they're saying, you know, the sky is blue, and I'm sitting there, wow, I better take that out because I need the room for this. I'm not going to do that. I want them to know that whatever you tell me is exactly what the people are going to get. And I do. That's what I do with live shows too. So I love doing this show live because, I mean, you could pre-record it and then you could edit it, but it comes out sterile, and I'm just not about that. I know Eric does live shows as well. John does his show live.
I can't. Eric knows that I will go in and I will edit out the ums just because. Here's why. If I listen to a podcast, let's say I'm listening in my car on the way to work, which happens a lot. If I hear someone say 32 times in 8 minutes, I'm not going to watch that podcast because it's going to drive me absolutely insane. And that's just the honest truth. Mm-hmm. So I try to get myself to stop saying filler words like, you know, those are the 3 biggest ones. And if I catch myself doing it in post, I will take it out of there. I'm not going to leave it in there.
I think people who do interview shows, when they do the part, I think the is compensating for a fast brain.
It is.
That's what I think. It's compensating because you are your brain is racing so fast, and you're trying to stay the pace. And I think sometimes you say because you're giving yourself a chance to catch up. Because I say that a lot, and you know I'm very aware of it. I've heard people comment, you know, like, that's one thing I don't like doing. I always say and it's just like I do it all the time. If you go to watch my interviews, but that's because I'm racing. I have so much to
Yeah,
say.
it's
My
a
mouth,
placeholder.
right? My mouth can't keep up with my brain, so I buy myself some time. Um, so here I'm buying myself some time.
Well,
Uh,
I actually went online. I'm trying to remember where it was YouTube. YouTube is so amazing that I don't think people give it the credit that it deserves because there's not just things like this on YouTube. There's tutorials. There's see, I just said it again. But there was something that I saw on there because I said, "How do you stop saying filler words?" This was a couple years back, and it actually had said, "Pause. Dead air is okay. Everyone's so afraid of having dead air." Oh,
well,
thanks,
I,
Eric. Thank you.
I think what it is I think what it is, it's like I haven't done a show. I haven't done a show in like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So, and sometimes, you know, when I get back in the saddle, sometimes it takes me to get, a little bit to get going. Like today, if you will go back and watch my first 15 minutes, you will see me. Well, anybody who's done interviews, they will see me spin my wheels. Like you can sit there and go like, he's struggling because he's not there's no flow to what he's saying.
Oh, but you
There
always
was,
have such flow, Patrick. You
oh,
do.
you go back and listen to the first, it's like there's no flow because I'm
Oh,
trying to get back into this. I'm trying to get back into it because generally you're right. Once we start talking like this, it just goes. It just absolutely flies, and I have to be careful not to get target fixated and ignore my chat. Like that's one problem I always work at is like try not to because you gotta bring them with you.
yeah.
That's the thing when you're doing live, you gotta bring your audience with you. You can't
Thank you,
just get
Doc.
target fixated. Yeah. I gotta watch Doc. Doc's got a show too. I gotta go over there and get into. Um,
And it looks
and
like Krubby
definitely.
may have just subbed as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
It's always
Yeah, by
fun.
all means. There's Eric throwing up the channel. Uh,
Yeah. And Patrick, you got me a ton of subs with that drive that you did. I just want to thank you again for that because someone had said the first 100 subs are the hardest, and I really do believe
yes.
that now.
Yes.
I
The
I don't
first
think
100 is it's a real struggle. And it's what's really funny is like once you get up to like 750, 800, man, it's gonna fly. You'll fly from 800 to 1,000. It'll go by super fast.
and I know I'm trying to remember, Eric, you had said something like don't focus too hard on the numbers. I don't focus too hard on the numbers,
Yeah.
but it is so fun to see the number go up.
Oh
But
yes.
and it's funny because you're supposed to ask for, we pre-record, Eric and I, when we've done a lot of the shows and pre-record them, and I always forget to say, "Hey, if you like the channel, you know,
Yeah, me too.
please."
I'm
I
not.
always forget to do that. I think because it's more for me to play
Mhm.
on here and to try to, I guess, have a community and chat with people about horror that I forget to say, "Oh, you should like the channel," because I guess it's not so much about that as much as it is, "Hey, I want to engage with people."
Well, it's interesting because me and Eric we're both about right to we're at the same spot right now, and I noticed one thing about YouTube is, especially with my channel, is because I'm all over the place as far as what I cover. YouTube does not help me out. Like
No, I bet not.
no, they want you to just do one thing. If you're a horror channel, that's all they want you to do is just horror. And since I don't do that, since I, I've seen people just race past me as far as numbers go because they're doing one specific thing, home thing or going to con things or cruise things, or they had that one main topic that they hit all the time, horror movies. um you know um and me, I'm all over the place. I have, I could talk about a documentary one week, comedy the next week, shark movie the next week, cat ghoulie the week after that. And YouTube doesn't,
They don't
it
know what to
doesn't,
do with you.
they don't know. Yeah, that's really what it is. So you're sitting there and you get what they call sub frozen, which means that they don't bring you any subs. They don't push your they don't push your content out. So getting subs is it's very hard. Hopefully that won't happen.
Well, Eric's
Ho- ho-
channel is very much like your channel then, because he has this eclectic, there's
Mhm.
movies, TVs, all different genres, which I think, why can't it be, oh, send subs over people that enjoy watching certain movies and TV and reviews on that type of thing. So thank you,
Yeah,
Doc.
yeah, because like I said, I don't mind people talking horror. I mean, there was and you guys all know who it'll be once I talk about it. So there was one of our good friends, Steven from Craving Something Scary. So all he did was talk about Scream. That's all
Right.
he did. He just, and the thing is, it's like it's pounded to dinosaur dust. It's like, oh my God, it just how could we're gonna talk about, it's just like it's the same content
Yeah.
over and over and over, and it's like after a while, you just get totally burned out by it. I was always impressed that he could sit there and talk about one movie as much as he did. I was like, man, I have my favorite movies, but I don't think I could sit there and do a month full of that movie. I couldn't talk about that movie for a straight month, and he did that for
No.
years.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And the fact that, I mean, and he loved that franchise. And I love the franchise too, but I think because I love it so much, I don't want to talk it to death either. And that's not anything against anyone that's talking about Scream, but Eric and I have had a long discussion about this, and he was so down with doing, you know, uh, an episode talking about Dewey Riley, David Arquette. We had a good time with that, and it's his favorite. He said it's his favorite of the ones that we've done. But
that's
it's
I
because
like the arc they did with David Arquette. I thought that really was interesting.
yes,
He went from being a lovable goof to be a hero,
but
and
taking a character and talking solely about that character, that's why I think it interested. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but I think that's why he had interest in it, because we were talking about one character. We weren't just saying like, "Hey, let's have an episode about Scream." We wanted to do something different that we hadn't really seen a whole lot of people doing, that out on YouTube. And
uh, let's see. Eric mentioned says, "Don't worry about numbers. Be proud of your accomplishments, but don't focus on them, or the fun can slowly go away." Yeah, I don't worry about it. I mean,
yeah, I don't.
the only thing I don't worry about, the only thing I notice that whenever I take a break, when I come back, again, it's YouTube punishing me. It's like they punish. We have a friend named Kevin, who runs a show called Tuber Chat, a channel called Tuber Chat, and he gives a lot of great tips and information. And he sits there and says, "Well, if you take a break from YouTube, and highly recommend it, just make sure that you post something once a week." So I do. Like I took December, I pretty much took November, December off, and but I made sure I put at least one post every week, so that the algorithm would say, "Oh, the channel's still active," and
Okay.
but otherwise, like, to me, one of the other things I always try to do is, like, I notice when I do come back from break, is the fact that my number will always get low. As far as the 8 questions with, people don't find it. Part of that is the
Oh,
algorithm. Part of it is the algorithm. Part of it is because people's attention span are not there.
well,
They're
that's a
not.
good thing. So what you just said, people's attention spans, right? Eric
Yeah.
and I did a 3-minute short on the main one. I'm going to tell you something. It was supposed to be an entire episode. It was going to be about a 30-minute episode. We took the time to do it, and something happened on my end with Zoom, because I didn't have it store locally on my computer. I had it stored to Zoom. So my Wi-Fi was all egged up that day. And so my audio sucked. Eric's was just fine. And so we had to go through, and I had to insert, like, redo my part on things. So it would show his face, and then it would show my face. And when it showed my face, I had to redo what I was saying initially because the audio was so terrible. Okay, so we made lemonade out of that because we turned it into a 3-minute short, right? 1,800 views. I said, okay, so people's attention spans, for short-term content, short form content versus long form content, I couldn't believe it. It's still, I checked it again the other day, and it's like 1830 or something like that on the views, and I've never had anything get that high.
You'll get a lot more. Um, Especially one thing, and we noticed one thing that's really a positive. I think it's a positive anyway, is that the horror community. There's not too many. There's not too many women in it. There's just a handful. And if you go back and you look at women, who do YouTube channels, especially horror channels, you'll notice that their view counts are really high.
They are really high.
Yeah, because you guys are abnormal.
Yeah.
It's abnormal. It's
Mhm.
so people get they're fanboys, so they respond to oh my gosh, the girl likes horror movies. Oh yeah, so you go there and you take a look at their content, and you look at it and go like, I talked about Scream. How come mine only got 50
Yeah.
views, but she put it on there. She's got like 700. Well, that's because you're a dude and she's a girl, and the girls, girls still we have, there's still that the stigma that ladies don't watch horror movies. Well, that's what we all know.
Maybe. That's a good point. Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be watching gentle stuff, and it's like, who says? I think it's so cool when I come across a woman's horror channel like Lady Sasha or the Wonder Twins. They kick ass. Ashley over a Sledgehammer Horror, she kicks ass. Gory B movie, she kicks ass.
There's the
You know,
haunted
so
hippie out there too.
I mean, there's a lot of really fun women creators, and they all love a good horror movie. They like to be screamed. They like to scream, and like us, and they like the fact that Art's a cat lover. They're just like um I see. Russell said that the mean one is good. Yes, the mean one is good, and we interviewed the lead actress in that film here, Crystal Martin. So see, these are things that you would know if you always come to every single show that I do.
I need to go back and watch that one though, because I liked the mean one. Eric said Eric said he wouldn't get it on physical media, but I don't know. I think if the price was right, I think he would add it to his collection.
Yeah, I would get it because of just the fact that I've interviewed her twice, and so I'm like, okay, that'd be fun to do, too.
Yeah.
And I was very excited for her when she told me, when we were talking about it. I was very excited, like because she's actually before she did that film, she was more known as a stunt woman. So having her get in front of the film, get me in, the face of the film, I was very excited for her. And that's really like what I really love about doing a show like this too is always talking to the up and comers. That's my joy. That's the joy,
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
yeah. So they have a lot more stories. When you talk to, like me and Eric were talking about the wrestlers, and I'm going like, man, wrestlers love to talk, and they do. But the thing is, though, is that they love to talk, and a lot of them will just they'll burn out all their stories.
Oh,
And so
okay.
you go ahead, and if you go ahead and go after an established star, and you go talk to them, a lot of times those stories have been heard. But if you get someone like a James Fury, who's relatively new to the scene, his story is fresh. It's refreshing. He's like, wow, I didn't know about that. I didn't
Yeah,
know
that was
that.
a good interview.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, that was that. I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed watching something that I'm not used to seeing. In the pro wrestlers. I mean, those deathmatch guys are fucking crazy. They are crazy. I was like,
They're
yeah.
built from a different mold than we are.
I have no idea. You know what? I'm sitting here. I'm just watching them talk, and I'm going like, how the hell do you? I just don't get it. I mean, I it cracks me up. You watch, when we both thought we were going to interview Mickey Knuckles. I went and saw videos of her, and they're taking like light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs, and they're hitting them over the, hitting each other with them, going like, do you understand just like exactly what kind of damage you could do by being hit with a fluorescent light? And yet there they are. I remember saying, I told Eric, says, man, if you went to you have to go to a death match, you have to bring plastic sheeting with you. If you plan on sitting on, a ringside, you have to have plastic sheeting
Yeah.
because you will get blood on you. If you go
Nasty.
there, if
Ugh.
you're watching WWE, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get anything on you. You go to a death match, it's a horror movie. It is a damn horror movie. There's more blood in the death match than there are probably in 5 or 6 horror movies. And if you're sitting in the first 4 or 5 rows, you will get blood on you.
Yeah. Russell, wrestlers can't act. I was just thinking about how I used to watch some wrestling with Granny. She still watches wrestling, actually. She loves it. Several times a week, she'll have that on her TV. But I remember just loving Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Just
Yeah.
loving the way he'd come out there and saunter around.
Oh, he was he could talk. I mean, that's what we were talking about too. We're talking about with the wrestlers, we're talking about what makes a wrestler stand out. It's like an actor. It's like what makes an actor stand out. How do you pick that actor to be a star? Like you look at someone like a Glenn Powell, who I think is like right now currently is like the last. He's like old school studio actor in the fact that studios used to take their actors and slowly build them up to be big stars. It was all about them. So we'll make sure that he or she doesn't fail by putting them in all these big splashy productions. And it's the same thing with wrestling. It's like because when The Rock started, if you go back and watch his career, he was just a generic good guy. There was nothing special about him. Happy go lucky, real smiling for the fans. I mean, there's just nothing there. But once he discovered the Rock persona, his career took off because he was just absolutely crushing it on the mic. He was still doing the same moves in the ring. There's nothing really different what he's doing in the ring. But all of a sudden now he's got the confidence of the mic.
Yeah.
And he goes from, and it's just like, it's like acting as well. It's like you put them in the right movie, they're going to take off. But if you put them in, not so great movies, they just become there. And we know them and they're sturdy. It's like, so, that's what I mean. They almost become just straight out character actors.
Yeah, Eric, it does count. He said David Arquette wrestles. He's a good actor. That counts. Yes. And Roddy Piper. That's a good point. Roddy Piper also played in They Live. I don't know what other movies.
Roddy Piper was a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good actor. He did a lot of things other than They Live. He did a lot of episodic TV. I think he was on Walker for like 3 or 4 times. He's actually a decent actor. He was really good. He was and so was Steve Austin. You go back and watch Steve Austin and watch his movies. His movies were fun, but he quit because he got tired of being handed the same damn script. Every time it was the same thing. He says, man, I don't want to do that anymore. I've already
stereotyping?
done it. Yeah.
Like stereotyping? Okay.
Yeah. But you go back and watch him in some of his movies, he's really good. I mean, he's, and he could be quiet. He had a lot more range than people thought.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Russell says jabroni is now in the English dictionary. You know what? He probably and see. David Arquette is a former WCW world. Yeah, that's when they jumped the shark, so to speak. And WCW started sliding downhill. Fans just couldn't take it seriously after that. Wrestling fans, they're any wrestling fan, they kayfabe is dead as we know it. So what are some of your favorite films? I mean, we talked about a little bit about Scream, a little bit about Friday the 13th. Who are some of your favorite films other than that? Are you more of a studio? Are you more of a studio girl, like a big budget movie fan, or do you like independent stuff as well?
I like independent stuff as well. I mean, I don't always just watch horror either. I mean, there's movies that, I kind of lean on to go back to, as far as I'm trying to think, like even like romantic movies like The Notebook or um yeah, of course now my brain is on horror, but yeah, Selena,
Do you like watching Hallmark movies?
no.
Okay,
No Hallmark movies.
I asked you that question for you, Eric. Um,
Oh, did
sorry,
he ask that somewhere?
I think so. Maybe
No, he did not. Did he?
you know what? Hold on. Eric has done Hallmark movies with us.
That's hilarious.
Did he tell you that?
No.
Oh gosh, I'll send you the yeah. He's down with it. I was like, that's one of the things I like about him. He's like, oh, hey, I'm open for this. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun deep diving on some Hallmark movies. I was impressed. Um, oh,
I was trying to think of like movies
yeah, and then we watched some blood and gore. And shit. I don't want. Yeah, we watched a shark movie after we did that. Yeah.
Well, like, so okay, so for example, some Christmas movies that I usually have in the rotation that aren't, obviously horror, are things that you wouldn't even expect. Like Home Alone. I like Home
Mhm.
Alone, especially, just the original, the first one.
God,
Um,
you gotta give
one
Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern a lot of credit. I mean, they gave it their all. That's where when I watched that movie, I like watching those two guys because I'm thinking these guys are being asked to have their ass handed to them like not once, not twice, like 20 times. And for a lot of actors, they would not want to be seen in that light. They really wouldn't.
he said,
We
"I
want you to
hate you
go.
so much."
Uh, that's the ultimate compliment.
That was great.
That's
Or
right.
like It's a Wonderful Life. That is right up there in the top of my favorite Christmas movies. The Holiday, the one with Jude
That's a good
Law
one.
and Jack Black and Kate Winslet and all them. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
a good movie too. So there's a lot of movies I'll watch, but I think horror, I think I lean on it more, not to like bring down the room, but my dad died a couple years ago, and I feel like I've leaned into horror a little bit more since he passed because I grew up on horror with him, my grandma and my mom. So I kind of leaned into it a little bit more then.
Yeah, I got into horror when I was like 13, 12, 13.
Okay.
I used to listen to a radio show called CBS Mystery Theater with E.G. Marshall, and it was radio plays, and some of them were just apps. I mean, it really helped me with my imagination because I'm listening to this program and I'm imagining what's going on, and it developed my imagination, and then I got into pulp books, and then I started getting into the horror. When I discovered Robert Bloch, I was like, holy shit. Got into Robert Bloch, then I got into Stephen King, early King. Like I read that, like I absolutely spoiled myself because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who his connection to Carrie was or anything. All I know is that there's this big ass book called The Stand, and my friend Mike told me this you got to read this, and so I bought the copy of The Stand, and I was hooked. I'm like, this is amazing. This is a great book.
Well, and I
And then
think
I
some
got
people think too with movies with horror that it has to be something gory or whatnot. So a lot of Stephen King stuff, it's more, isn't it? Wouldn't you say psychological?
I don't know. There's a lot of physicality in his book.
Mhm.
Um, like I was really like I okay. So there's a couple of movies. I mean, there's like I can't stand The Shining, the movie. Can't stand that shit. That we could put that in the litter box and Paladin will bury it. So I can't stand The Shining, but I love the book. The book is beautiful. The book is just top drawer. Um, and to me, it's like I feel bad for Stephen King because they never can really, there's very few directors or writers that really truly get it.
Yeah.
They really don't. A lot of times his movies are just done and they're just done half-assed. they're not very memorable. If you really think about it, and a lot of the books, his recent books, are like that too. Like, and maybe because he's so prolific, but a lot of times he repeats themselves. Like a lot of the way he's writing it's pretty much steady right through whatever he's writing. I mean, if you pick up one book, you could pick up one book here, go back in 10 years, pick up another Stephen King book, and you're reading the same damn thing with different names of different characters. He's I know part has to do with age, but the way I look at it is, if you're still writing and you're still creating, and but you're still putting out the same stuff you did 10 years ago, guess what? Fans are going to call you out on it. They will. They're going to call you out on it. They don't want to. Like, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Eric's right. Dr. Sleep was much better than The Shining. It was actually kind of horrifying too, because I didn't know that it was going to have kids getting killed.
That used to be the taboo in horror, was kids and pets are off limits. Don't kill the dog. Don't kill the kids. Now there's just don't kill the dog. The kids are fair game now.
Yeah, you leave that dog alone, and the cat too.
See, Eric says King was sadly a better writer when he wasn't clean and sober. Yeah, you know what? I might have to go with that. I might have to actually go with that. A lot of his stories though were written when he was really young, and they poke fun at him, in it. How like one of the characters in it couldn't close a book. Everybody knows Stephen King cannot close a book. He can get you to the end, but he doesn't know how to end it. I think the worst Stephen King story, it wasn't The Shining. I will say that. I mean, at least The Shining had some aspects of the book in it, but I think as far as the worst Stephen King story I've ever watched that had nothing to do with the book at all was The Running Man. Oh, that's an abomination. The one they did with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's an abomination.
I don't think I ever even saw that.
Read the novella. That novella is so powerful. He's scary as hell when he was on fire. Like when he wrote The Stand, he wrote that before the AIDS pandemic broke out. And Captain Trips was very much like AIDS. The same reaction. And I mean, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And it was that's what made that book so scary. He also did the same thing with The Running Man. He wrote about how our society today would be. He said this would be our society now. But he wrote that, 20, 30 years ago. And here we are. Like, you watch TV.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's really scary. It's scary because he wrote about how it was going to be. All these games where people are running around distracted. The only thing that hasn't happened yet is we haven't seen anybody actually die, on screen. But that's coming. Sooner or later, somebody's going to go crazy. There's going to be someone's going to, it's going to take it to the extreme, and someone's going to die doing one of these reality shows. It's just
Eric
a matter of time.
Mentioned The Lawnmower Man. I went to see The Lawnmower Man at the theater.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was bad though.
I couldn't understand when CS to me, it's like, that's when I always said that. Whenever their movie came out, it has Stephen King's name on it. It performed poorly. When you don't have his name on it, it performed much better.
Why?
You go back and look at The Shining. It's not Stephen King's The Shining. It's just The Shining.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was. But the movie was well done. I think The Shining. It's just that it probably didn't match up to the book. But I don't understand why there's a lot of. It's made for TV, a lot of the Stephen King stuff, and I don't know why. There's so many movies that could, like The Long Walk, that I haven't seen it. I'm not going to see it, but I heard it was very good.
Well, see, that's the reason, like Frank Darabont did this too when he made The Mist. In the Mist, the ending is ambiguous. You don't really know. It was one of his first things he ever wrote, and he still couldn't close it out. He didn't know how to close it out. When you read the story, it's like you don't know what happens. In the movie, Frank Darabont said, "Well, I'm going to give this movie an ending." and he did. He gave the movie ending. We see Thomas Jane did what he do, and then you see the army come in, and there's a definite ending to the movie, where that
Hmm.
wasn't the case in the book. Um, and there's been several books, there's been several movies that are different like that. Um, like I was glad when they remade The Running Man with Glenn Powell. We talked about him a second ago. I was really happy to hear that they were going to go back to the source material. What was really disappointing was the fact that they made the movie and they don't have quite the ending of the novella, but it's a lot better. It's more true to what he wrote. Um, there's one other movies out there. There's another one like the Long Walk yourself you mentioned too. In the novella, spoilers, in the novella, there's no definite ending. It's a weird ass ending. It's like it just doesn't make any sense at all. But the movie, the director says, you know what, I hate the ending. I can't go with that ending. So here's what I'm going to do, and they changed it, and the ending absolutely makes perfect sense. It's like that's how it should have been done. It's like the natural progression. It's like yes, that's exactly what you expected to see, but in the novella, it doesn't. It ends so weak. It's like he takes you all the way up there, and then he didn't know how to end it.
Which is the
Um,
case with a lot of movies, I think.
let's see. Let's see. You take a story about a evil man that worships a pagan god and kills someone to a special needs man that gets superpowers after playing virtual reality games. That's the Lawnmower Man. Yeah, the Lawnmower Man. That was a short story. I think it was only like 5 or 6 pages. And it made, I mean, when I heard that they were going to make a movie about it, I was stunned because I'm like, that's like making a movie out of a comic strip, a single comic strip. Not like I could read a whole year's worth of comic strips and make a movie out of it. No, you get one little comic strip with two squares. Now make a movie out of that, and that's what they did with the Lawnmower Man, because it was only like a 5 or 6 page novella, and it was gory as hell. It was just a weird ass little gory movie that he probably wrote while he was high. But and not only that, but they made a goddamn sequel to it. Um, Dreamcatcher, Needful Things was like the monkey's paw. I didn't like Needful Things. That was like, really? That's like the monkey paw. That's all that is. I know what you need. Just wish for that, and then it'll come. And it was like, oh right, okay, seen that.
Russell Collier, the Night Flyer. He mentioned the Night Flyer, the vampire at the airport film. I have a comment about that. Russell, did you watch A Christmas Horror Story? Because I feel like, without giving too much away, because I don't want to ruin it for someone, did you feel like it borrowed some things from the Night Flyer? Because that's what I thought of immediately. I wonder what he'll think about that.
I have yet to see Doctor Sleep, but I do know that it's everybody has said it's a great movie. It's a lot better than the Shining. A lot better, light years better.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
when
think
they
so
tried to
too.
make the Dark Tower, I was like, I heard about they're doing the Dark Tower, and it's another one about King that's just absolutely just like. So he wrote the Dark Tower. He wrote 7 books. The first one is almost unreadable. He was young when he wrote it, but it's probably the most almost unreadable book that I've ever read of his. I was really, but then he got better. But the first book is like, oh, good Lord. I was like, he must have got this published after he popped. Like, oh, grab anything. Stephen King wrote his name he went out to dinner and signed a credit card slip. Make a movie out of that. Um, that's the impression you got with the Dark Tower. But it's another case where he can't fucking finish it at all. He wrote 7 books about it, but this whole ass story, and then at the very end of the book, it's gone nowhere. He's still chasing the same guy. Nothing gets resolved. Nothing. It was just like, wow. So all that build up, all that, and all for nothing. The guy just, he just can't finish. Yeah. Well,
Because he did more drugs, Eric.
so what
What do
was
you
up?
know,
We
Eric?
got time for a couple more questions. I will ask you this. I'll ask you, what were your, because everybody's talking about the end of the year or what have you. What was your favorite three horror movies of last year, and who are your three favorite horror actors, male or
Oh,
female?
okay. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, does it have to be movies that came out in 2025
No,
or movies that I
no.
saw in 2025?
Movies that you saw. I'm
Okay.
the same way. I'm the same way. I don't see very many new movies. If I did that, I have like three movies. So I just put down what I watched.
Okay. So I'll say off the top of my head, The Monkey, Long Legs, because really did surprise me. And what was the other? Companion.
So I see you and Eric are both Oz Perkin fans.
I don't know that I am because some of the stuff that's out there's another movie out there that I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that. It just looks, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a new one that's out there where it's a couple that are, I think, vacationing at a cabin or something like that. That one I have no interest in seeing, but I will say I was surprised with Long Legs. That one really took me by surprise. And the monkey reminds me so much of Final Destination. How can I not love that? Now, as far
So
as
I'm giving a hard time because we talked about Oz Perkins. Him and I talked about Oz Perkins, and and
what,
he
Eric?
gave, yeah, he's only done one good movie for me, the Black Coat's Daughter. That's excellent. That's yeah. I saw Long Legs too. I was not impressed. Sorry,
You
I was
weren't?
not. Oh,
You watched
no,
it all the way
they get
through.
they gave the ending away in the first 5 minutes.
Well, see, I'm not my
First five
husband.
minutes. First
If
five
my
minutes.
husband
First 5 minutes.
if my
I knew the
husband
end of
is
the movie.
upstairs watching this, he might be. He's gonna think this is funny. I'm not an observant person, so this is why I can be surprised by endings of movies because
Mm,
I don't know how to observe. I'm not
yeah,
good at it, so
yeah.
I would never make a cop.
It lays it out right off the bat. It's like the first 5 minutes, and sure enough, it just gets there.
Oh, I
But I tell you
missed it.
another. I'll tell you another movie. You like that movie with a supernatural element? There's another movie I highly recommend that you watch, and that was Nefarious.
Okay.
Highly
See, I
recommend.
won't watch that.
Highly
Religious
recommend.
horror,
Oh, it's so
paranormal.
good. So good. It's a bottle room. It's a
I'm
bottle
la-
room movie.
I'm
It's just
laughing
two
at
people.
Eric.
Uh, see, see, he hated it. He hated
Why
the
did you
monkey.
hate the monkey? I don't know how you could hate that movie. It's basically a funny version of Final Destination.
Let's see.
I'm so confused right now.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Doc says he loved the monkey. I know a lot of people. I think it's there's a new monkey movie coming out. I think in January called Primate.
Yes, it looks like it's going to scare the hell out of me. Okay, that movies that have an animal in it that
Like a monkey.
it's like Cujo but a monkey, right?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how the monkey is going to be. If he's going to be a victim of man and then he goes wild or what. That'll be very interesting. Because anytime you look at a movie, like a movie gone, like some movies are just straight out, the creature features like Jaws or Grizzly, or Piranha. There's just it's long, chimpanzee. See, I think those are all reality based. Because yeah, I mean, nobody wants to run across a grizzly bear in the wild. Sharks. Sharks are like Jaws. I mean, they're. I mean, that's what makes Jaws so good is the fact that it does happen. It happens that way. You get a shark attack. It's not stupid. I mean, Jaws is really smartly made. Um,
Yeah.
so Hey, Stephen,
Oh,
how are you, sir?
Shaka. Who's reviewing
Okay,
Shaka?
and now I'll ask you the other side of the question is
Hmm.
what? Oh, your three favorite actors or actors, and Eric says not Jamie Lee Curtis. Hell, Eric's got that right.
Yeah,
That's for
he's I don't know that I have favorite people in horror so much as I mean, I guess if I could see someone that could be versatile and not just one note,
hmm
not to generalize, but if I can see someone in one movie and then see them in another movie and they're completely different, and as much as I love Nick Cage is kind of the same person in most of his movies.
Yeah.
If I could see someone play a part that's more than one note, then I am zeroing in on them and really curious about their work. Yeah, I would have to say
Yeah, I'm
that.
with you about that. That's the
Mhm.
reason why I'm not the biggest Ryan Reynolds fan because he basically plays the same part every
Oh,
movie.
he does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he
just yeah,
same person. And
it's
Keanu Reeves, as much as I think such a good person in real life, he's pretty one note in his movies as
yeah,
well.
yeah. It was really funny when I read about how John Wick, in the John Wick series, he had less dialogue with each movie that came out. His dialogue was less in each movie. It's like, dude, I mean, he didn't have that much in the first movie,
Yeah.
and now you made him, I like the first one. I like the first John Wick. But the other ones, I was just like, it just morphed into cartoons.
Yeah.
Um,
I will tell you this though. Okay, so if we're talking about like moments in movies, I will tell you moments in movies that I thought, "Oh my God, this was awesome." The ending of Scream 5 where Samantha Carpenter, of the Carpenter sisters is going to town on her boyfriend. And not in the way that you would think. Like she's ending him
right.
essentially. And she looks crazy, but also, she's had kind of a traumatic background, and finding out that who her dad was and all that stuff. But that was where I thought, oh my God, she could actually be really good in horror.
Was that Jenna Ortega?
No, no. Um, why am I blanking on her name? Maybe Eric will help us out here. Hi, Steven.
Screen five, screen five person.
Melissa. Melissa.
Melissa Becerra.
Yeah, yes. I was blanking on her name. But yes. And then I saw her in Abigail. Thought she did good in Abigail as well. So I feel like she could potentially do really well continuing on that trajectory in horror movies.
I have to admit, I really am curious about that movie because there's another movie with a similar premise called House of Salem that came out, a small independent film from the UK, and it has like a similar storyline. But I do know the storyline in Abigail. But I'm really curious about seeing that. That would be interesting for me. I heard it was done pretty well. I heard that was actually a pretty fun movie.
Oh, thanks,
Uh,
Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it.
let's see. Yes. Oh, thank you, Stephen. Stevens, and you're and this will be our last topic because I know it's getting late here. My last thing to you is I hear you are going to venture going doing more live streams. Um, what will you be talking about?
What little birdie told you that?
Uh,
I
it was some
wonder.
it was some Indiana shark.
Um, yes. So, oh, thank you, Eric. Summit 178. That's cool. It's getting close to 180. Eric and we have this entire list of live streams that we want to do. We mainly want to do, so this Saturday will be the first one that I've ever done. And shows a picture of Jamie Lee Curtis and it says, oh, let me think of how I
Are
wrote
you
that.
are you a Jamie Lee Curtis fan?
Well, Eric and I have some thoughts on her as far as her time in the horror genre. So I think I had said the tagline was ultimate scream queen or overrated horror icon. So we're going to go through her
Wow.
movies
Okay.
like The Fog, Prom Night,
Probably.
Terror Train, her time in the Halloween franchise, and a couple others, and just explain why we think that they are worthy, and why we think maybe they're not worthy. So certain
That's
ones.
I don't want to go into I don't want to go into because I want people to go up. When is that show going to happen?
Oh, this Saturday in the
Oh, this
afternoon, two
Saturday.
o'clock. Two
Okay,
o'clock our
so two
time, so
o'clock.
3 your time.
Okay, so 2 o'clock on your channel. So Jamie, that's a because that's gonna be very interesting to watch because I think she's actually rather polarizing. Among fans. It's really interesting because we were talking a little bit about that too, and yeah, it's interesting. But
Well,
is Jamie? Would you consider Jamie Lee Curtis one of your favorite actors?
no,
Oh,
no, I actually wouldn't. You'll find. Well, and a lot of people don't.
you sounded exactly how he sounded when he's like, no, hell no.
No,
Uh,
and that's not to take away. And Eric and I will be fair to her. There are a couple of roles that we feel she did well in, but there's also a couple roles that we thought, what did she even do? And people are just naming her this ultimate scream queen,
yeah,
and maybe
I don't get that myself.
I don't
I don't get
understand
that.
it. Maybe they had lower standards in the 70s and 80s. I don't know.
Well, there wasn't that many either, if you think
That's
about it.
it. Yeah.
I mean, that was like, I mean, the girl from, if you think about the horror genre, how it got started, I mean, other than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which came out in '74, I mean, she really was the first one. And then after that, then they started doing all the slasher movies. And the fact of the matter is, you know, they try to make Linda Blair into a screen queen. Linda Blair did a few movies,
Yeah.
horror movies as well, but no one really reacted to her. You know, as far as her, her attempts of doing it. I mean, she'd done a lot of women in prison movies that people seemed more interested in than horror movies, even though that she starred in one of the top 10 horror movies of all time in The Exorcist.
Right.
Um, are you are you yeah, but you don't did you have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Years and years ago. Maybe I should watch it again as an adult all the way through.
Yeah, I highly
Because
recommend that.
I like to say, because when people always say, "Oh, Exorcist was the scariest movie I've ever seen," and of course, my memory, I'm like, how? But maybe if I watched it again now, maybe it would seem
I tell you what,
eerie.
it holds its power. It
Yeah.
really does. It does not. It's it's a really good movie. It's
Russell,
really
Road
good.
Games. Yeah, we're going to talk about Road Games. Eric, did you watch Road Games yet? We'll have to ask him that.
Let's see. Question for Barb: have you ever seen the horror classic from 1973 called Scream? Blackula Scream.
I have not. There's a
You have not seen
you
it?
could fill books with how many movies I have not seen yet. There's so many
Scream
out there.
Blackula Scream is amazing. William Marshall, Blackula is badass. Now that's a movie. That's a movie I wish they would. I know Eddie Murphy did a vampire in Brooklyn, but I would love to see someone take on a remake of Blackula.
Uh,
Though again, here we go to the point like, could you actually make a movie and title it Blackula? I mean, would people respond to that, or would they get turned off by the name? I
Mixed
personally
bag, I
feel,
think. Yeah.
yeah, and it shouldn't be. It should be an overwhelming hell yeah. I would watch that, but now like, well, I don't know if we can go with the title. It's not, and I'm like,
Mhm.
this is, we're censoring our own selves. Really, what it is. Whenever someone says, well, I don't think they could get away with making that today, you're censoring us. It,
Doc,
it,
who is
it
in Mr. Crockett? I've never seen Mr.
uh,
Crockett. Who's in it?
uh, I have not seen that either.
They'll remake Blackula with Kevin Hart.
Don't give them ideas. They'll remake Blackula with Kevin Hart now. Shh, God.
Steven, I feel like I'm disappointing tonight because no, I haven't. I love Vincent Price, but I have not seen Madhouse.
Oh, that's another great
Well,
movie.
maybe everyone should start making me a list because I have a challenge for myself this year to watch 365 movies in 365 days. It can be cumulative. Doesn't have to be one movie a day. 'Cause sometimes you just don't feel like watching anything.
Right,
But then other
right.
days you feel like watching three movies in one day. So there's that.
Wow. Like I thought I was doing pretty good last year. I did 125. And we're like, yeah, that's a good solid amount. And
Hey,
then I heard that, yeah, I'm gonna do one a day. I'm like, oh my God. Not that I couldn't do it. I could easily do it. I could easily do that and not watch the same movie twice. Believe me, you. Um, but I don't know if I could do a movie a day.
I don't know that I will either. I want to see how close I can get to that number though. Right now, my husband and I are going back and rewatching Stranger Things. We're
Okay.
rewatching it from the beginning after we
Okay.
saw it because it kind of left us with that nostalgic sad feeling at the end, so we pressed play on it and I just posted that thing about getting rid of Netflix and then I had to go in and renew it for one more month just so that we can power through season 1 through
Right.
5 again. And then we'll get
Right.
rid of it for sure after that because there's nothing else that
Well,
we want to see on there. So,
well, we definitely know that the first four are out on physical media, and the fifth one probably will be out in probably 2 3 months.
yeah, be nice if they
So
came out with some kind of a full set, you know.
it would be. Hopefully, Netflix will do that.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, boys and girls, we have kept Barb way past our time, but I want to thank you guys for all coming out and dropping some seriously fun comments and questions.
Yeah, this was fun.
Uh, yeah, and Saturday at 2 p.m. over on Barb's channel, there'll be Eric and her will be talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. I will be on the road heading over to Eric's channel on Friday night. I'm sure he's got some questions for me and some revenge questions. I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
what
waiting for
time are
his
you
answer
guys
and
going
everything.
on?
8 o'clock on Friday.
Oh no, it's right at the same time as Scarefest TV. Are you guys going to be longer than an hour? If so, I'll catch up with you.
I have no idea. I'm actually the guest for a change.
Okay.
So I don't know what we're. It all depends how many shark movies that Eric wants to talk about. That's how I look at it. I mean, the more because there are a lot of shark movies that we haven't discussed yet. Um, Boy, you said of Jamie Lee Curtis. You guys should have talked about Hope Marie Carlton. Um,
I don't even know who
that would
that
have been.
is.
Uh,
I know I'm
well,
disappointing tonight.
no, he's such a lovely guy. He
Good night,
for our
everyone.
Sharks versus Schlock, he had me watch Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College, because he thought I would absolutely hate that movie.
And you loved it.
But there's a cat ghoulie, so I loved it. And then they had Hope Marie Carlton, who was just a babe, and so she was in the movie. And then then they had Eva LaRue and Kevin McCarthy from gosh, help me out here. Oh,
Steven, I have seen the remake, but not the original.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Thanks for hanging
Um,
out, Russell.
oh yeah, I heard that. I heard that they're remaking the Phantom of the Opera. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, Doc says he loves Ghoulies 3. Me too, Doc. I thought it was great. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I heard that they're making a Phantom of the Opera remake, and they're making another goddamn version of Robin Hood.
Really? Well, as Eric
No,
always says,
no one,
remake everything.
nobody wants to see another Robin Hood. Nobody's, and no, there's no demand for Robin Hood. I swear to God. Next thing, and next year it'll be King Arthur again. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. Uh, but yeah, I would see the Ghoulies burped and farted all the time. I should have known Patrick would love it. I loved it because I had a cat ghoulie in it.
Hey, Eric, you have to keep Patrick talking a little bit past 9 o'clock. Wait, is it 8 o'clock? Wait, you say 8 o'clock. Are you
Yeah,
talking 8 o'clock your time or 8 o'clock
yeah,
our
eight
time?
o'clock Eastern time.
Oh, then I will be able to be there because that's 7 o'clock our time.
Okay, what time's
Okay,
your show
cool.
start? What time's your show start? 9.
Scarefest TV. I'm not on it this Friday, but Joanna is, so I'm gonna watch. But yeah, so that starts at 8 o'clock my time. So yeah, 7 o'clock our
Okay,
time. That I'll be there then. I'll
okay.
watch with you guys. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Uh, So that's where I'll be. I'll be over at Eric's channel next Friday here at 8 o'clock. And then, of course, Barb will be hosting her show with Eric on Saturday at 2 p.m. And I'll be back here on the 14th. We're talking to Daryl Hook from
Nice.
the filmmaker of Stoner Snake, which is, like I said before, is an absolute joy. That is such a fun movie and very, very, you'll be laughing your ass off. I promise you. He'll be here on the 14th, and then we have producer Carolyn D coming in on the 17th for a Saturday matinee show. But thanks again for all your support, and we will see you out there on the tube.
Thank you,
Barb, stay there
Patrick.
for 1
Oh,
second.
okay.
And to everybody else, I'm going to say good night, and we will see you Friday over on Eric's channel. Peace. There we go.